I have always said that workplace bullying is the abuse of empaths by narcissists. Another one of my theories is that a narcissist is actually an empath in fall, a fallen empath. In order to understand that, you need to understand what a narcissist really is. A narcissist is not a celebrity who is photographed against their will and forced to sit through promotional interviews where they are asked questions about themselves. A narcissist is not some guy at the gym who likes to take selfies of his guns in the mirror for Instagram. A narcissist is not a person who talks only about himself. We don't get to call people narcissists just because they're famous or they look good. In fact, if more people genuinely liked the way they look, there would be a lot less bullying in the world. A narcissist is a person who has literally killed off the authentic self. It's the part of himself that caused him pain. It's like, you know what, this is just so painful. I can't deal with this, I can't manage it, I can't handle it, so I'm just gonna kill it off. A narcissist has discarded a part of himself and substituted in its place the false self, the mask, the narcissistic ego. Everyone learns to repress, deny, and reject certain parts of themselves because of negative external reinforcement in childhood. A lot of parents say they love their children unconditionally, but the truth is that parental love comes with all kinds of conditions. I actually don't believe that human beings love unconditionally. If you have a dog, yes, you love your dog, but if the dog craps on the carpet, he's going to hear about it. That's a condition. I believe that God is the only source of unconditional love. Parental love comes with all kinds of strings attached. Your parents have very clear expectations about you and your life and which behaviors they will and will not tolerate. And as a result, we all get the message that certain parts of ourselves are not acceptable. They're going to result in abuse, abandonment, neglect, rejection. In other words, they are not lovable. So we all learn to divide ourselves into so-called good and bad parts and then apply those same value judgments to our emotions, when the truth is that emotions are value neutral. But narcissism is an antagonistic personality style. Workplace bullying is by definition an aggression. Workplace bullies are aggro. So pretty much 9 times out of 10, what workplace bullies have repressed is their femininity, their emotionality, and their sensitivity. That is not some misandrist statement that I was making. Unfortunately, because we are still living in a misogynistic patriarchy that is woefully out of balance, emotionality is still devalued because it is conflated with femininity, which is a grotesque disservice to men. It goes without saying that men are just as emotional as women, but are societally programmed to repress that emotion, which then manifests in all kinds of unhealthy ways, ranging from heart disease to domestic violence, and that is the reason that women live longer than men. If you are a man and you believe that you don't have a feminine side, then please don't watch my channel, because this is 2023 and everyone has Mars and Venus in their chart. Just like narcissism, there are a lot of misconceptions about what an empath really is. An empath is not a nice person, people. That's not what an empath is. Some are nice, some are not so nice. And an empath is not a codependent. Codependent and empath, that's 2 different things. An empath is someone who experiences other people's emotions as though those emotions are his or her own. An empath absorbs other people's energies and then reflects those energies back perfectly like a mirror. Empathy basically means that you have shitty spiritual boundaries. Some empaths are just born with the gift. It tends to run in the maternal line, and that was not another misandrist statement that I was making, because there are many beautifully intuitive men. But most empaths, like narcissists, are created by childhood trauma. You spent your childhood with your antenna, your feelers, your porcupine quills or tines, tracking the other person in the other room so you could know when the next hit was coming. That's a spiritual bypass. You learned to bypass yourself in order to focus on other people. And that's why empaths are so attractive to narcissists, because empaths give narcissists what they want: undivided attention. If you're like me, you may have noticed that some of your abusers were pretty intuitive. I was raised by a narcissistically and alcoholically abusive mother who was very psychic. Throughout my childhood, I always felt psychically invaded by my mother, to the point that I got paranoid and thought that she was secretly recording me with cameras in my room. Empathy is a double-edged sword. Yes, it can help you out in traffic, but if you don't know how to manage it properly, it can be the source of a lot of pain. An empath is a sponge. You just absorb other people's energies without even realizing it. I really believe that a lot of the so-called crazy people in our society, people who are homeless or institutionalized, are actually sensitives who simply couldn't handle their connection to the spirit world. A lot like the schizophrenic who commits homicide and suicide in the movie The Sixth Sense. Narcissists are no different. Their sensitivity was just so painful for them that they just couldn't handle it, so they killed it off. Narcissists and empath, it's two sides to the same coin. Not to get all Jedi, Sith on you, but we still have what they have lost. As a feminine woman who is Venus dominant with a high water chart, I know I represent the wounded feminine. That's how I show up. Sometimes you may represent to these people the witch wound, the feminine, emotional, sensitive, and intuitive parts of themselves that they have excommunicated, exiled, and banished. And now here you are. What are you doing here? I thought I already got rid of this. This dynamic is exactly why my mother abused me. I literally look like her, and we're both Libra rising. And she saw in me the same wounded feminine, the same sensitivity and emotionality that she felt fucked up her whole life. In one of my most recent workplace bullying experiences, I was bullied by the president and CEO of a nonprofit for domestic and sexual violence, who launched a spectacular attack against me. But before she did that, she gave me her birth information so I could run her chart. She was this vile, disgusting Aries woman with that nasty ass Venus in Aries, which I think is the most appalling placement a person can have, especially for a woman. Seeing her chart helped me understand that she really was just born that way. But I couldn't help but notice that she had a Pisces moon. That's my moon. Your moon is your feminine emotional side. And Pisces placements are not easy for anyone. The fish has no exoskeleton. And Piscean people are sensitive, emotional, and intuitive to a fault. I could immediately see that she had a real conflict inside herself between this public need to throw her weight around and project strength out into the world with this aggressive girl boss energy, and this internal, thin-skinned, insecure, emotional, and sensitive woman who probably sat at home and cried when she thought no one else was around, grieving what she had lost. It's obvious to me that when she attacked me, she was really attacking herself. So know that sometimes when workplace bullies bully you, they are not bullying you, they're bullying themselves. You are who they pretend to be. You are what they are not. I hope that helps. Take care.